Good morning. It is Wednesday, June 28th, and this is Wednesdays with Greg, 2017 to 17th broadcast. I'm going to wait like 30 seconds, and then I'm going to get going. My new smile. I've noticed on my videos, one of the things that I'm doing will be the front picture. So I'm trying to make sure I smile when I do it. So hopefully that'll be the picture that is the front page. Good morning, James. Good morning, Amy. And I'm going to go. I'm going to use Matthew 7, verses 1 through 4. And this is the New King James Version. It says, "Judge not, that you not be judged. For with that judgment you judge, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured back to you. And why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but do not consider the plank in your own eye?" I picked that for a couple reasons. One of them was, personally, that's something I've dealt with, pointing out stuff to other people, and I try to make sure I'm unchecked, and that's something that we deal with in the house with the children. They tell each other, "Hey, Ed, I was missing you. I'm glad you came on, and I sent you that NASCAR thing. That was cool." So we try to be mindful that we don't be so quick to point out other people's what they're doing wrong before we look at ourselves. The other stuff I guess the big thing for me was I made a statement with my shirt, my t-shirt. I wasn't planning on making a statement, but I wasn't shying away from it either. I bought a Black Lives Matter t-shirt in Kansas City when I met Amy Edwards and saw Lucretia and Marty and Ralph and Stephanie, a whole bunch of people when I went to the Jet KC disaster game for the Jets, but we had a great time. My friend Susan took me to the National League, Negro League Baseball Museum and the Jazz Museum. They're right next to each other, and it was really cool. And then there were vendors outside, and I bought a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. I wore it on the plane home back to Georgia and got a lot of crazy looks. And I'm like, I didn't think much about it then. I was just like, hey, this is how I feel. And you want to judge me, you judge me. I wore it, I think, one more time. And my youngest daughter said, "Dad, how come you're wearing that shirt?" Because she's indoctrinated in, what his story, which is his story, not our story, which I'll get to in a little bit. Then I wore it Saturday. I usually just put my t-shirts in my closet and just go from the bottom, so I don't wear the last one first. And that was the one that I picked, and I was like, well, I'm wearing it. And then when I got out of the house, I started getting some funny looks. And it made me walk like I was back in the Navy. I put my shoulders back, my head up, didn't act like I saw anybody. Hey, you need to recognize, because from my point of view, Black lives don't matter. I'm stuck on the Philando Castile case because I thought, I can't speak for other people, I thought that this time with video that there would be a conviction. And I think I do see that sometimes we don't see cases that don't bubble up, that actually do favor people that get in trouble, people of color. But this one was a high profile case. A lot of people looked at it. It didn't come out. The outcome didn't turn out the way we thought. And it broke me. And I've seen it online, and it hurt. But I think I shared that last week. Being mad is not a strategy. And so I've been trying to, work through this. And I have, I needed to spend some time alone. I needed to not talk about it. I needed to get my joy back in my life. And I did. So I'm happy to be alive. God is good. the thing that I came up with that just kept coming back to me was stereotypes. Because when I say his story, that is from the architects of this country. The history is from their point of view. It's not anybody else's story, but the people that came from England. That's what we learned in school, and that's all we know. As I've grown as a person, I discovered my history. People of color's history. Of not just Indians, but of African Americans and other cultures. That was really important to them, or what our contributions were to society. And there are lots. There's not just black folks, not just Indians, but Asians and all kind of different people have contributed to our successes and our failures also. Good morning, Chris. Thanks for all the likes, brother. I went to Google and I did top 10. I actually did stereotypes. And I got about 10 websites that popped up, and I was like, wow, there's that many. The one that I focused in on was it's top10s.net. And we'll just go through them really fast because they're not true. They're stereotypes. It's easy to put people in a box, or like in the data world, we say silos. We put these people in the silos. It's easy to say they're all this one way. And it's not true. So we need to unlearn stuff that we've learned that's just basically ignorant. And then a couple of things, one of the things that Amy and I were chatting about, and also another gentleman and I were talking about, is you won't see it, not unless somebody points it out to you. If you're guilty of it and somebody calls you out on it, dude, why did you say that joke? Or why do you think that way? Do you think that's okay? That's happened to me more times than I want to admit. That I said something stupid, or I said something racist, or have had a racist thought. And even when I went through this top 10, I caught myself like, wait a minute, I think I thought that way. The top 10 were white people have no rhythm. That's not true. We've seen some serious people of Caucasian persuasion that can dance. Number 9 says all African Americans are good at basketball. When I read the thing, it said that there are 25 black guys who can't hit the side of a very large barn with a basketball. I was like, okay. All Asians are geniuses. They work hard, but they ain't all geniuses. Hispanics don't speak English very well or not at all. My next door neighbors are Hispanic. Their daughters are bilingual. They speak very good Spanish. Very good Spanish and very good English, excuse me. Native Americans love to gamble. Yeah, they gambled, all right, and they lost. All Asians know Kung Fu. I don't think that's true. All African men are well endowed. I kind of got a kick out of that because it said, well, depending on the individual, because that's what it is, an individual thing. But it said that nobody's going to rush to get themselves measured for scientific purposes. And then it says Middle Easterners, number 3, Middle Easterners hate America. That is such crap. Because they left where they came from to escape persecution hopefully for a better life. White people are all racist. That is nonsense. There are good there are good people in any color group, no matter where you go. And then number 1 says Hispanics are all illegal aliens. Come on, really? What nonsense? They're nonsense. They're all nonsense. One of the things that I hang my hat on is that there are good people and there are bad people. And you will find them in any color, from charcoal, from dirt black or pitch black to albino white. Your color, your skin doesn't really matter. It's hopefully, and I talked about this to somebody earlier in the week. Unfortunately, some people don't see the light, or they see the light, they don't recognize the light. So from my point of view, this little light of mine, I want to let it shine. That's a song I grew up singing in the church. I want to be light because it's more important that we spread love than let hate overtake us. And the way to do that is forgiveness. That was back to my verse, and forgiveness. And I've got a personal thing going on where one of my closest friends stabbed me in the back more than twice, several times. I still got the knife in my back trying to get it out, and now he needs help, and I'm willing to help him. He just has to ask for forgiveness. And even if he doesn't ask for forgiveness, I told a close friend that if I can help him without him knowing, if he doesn't ask for forgiveness, I'd help him anyway. Because forgiveness, it's for them, but it's also for you. It's really for you. So it's really important that you forgive yourself of the mistakes that you made. Hopefully you learn from them and you keep moving. Lastly, it's 4th of July weekend coming up. 1st of July is Saturday. The United States is going to be 241 years old. Last week I didn't know, so this week I looked it up. Have a safe and wonderful weekend. Party some. Don't drink too much. Don't shoot off too many fireworks. I thought about that. When you're growing up, that was great. Now I'm like, hey, after JPP from the Giants blew off his thumb, that's Jean-Paul Pierre. I want the professionals to do it. But we like the sparklers running around the yard, so maybe we might do that. Have a blessed day. God bless you. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace.